And I'm joined by a legal practitioner, Fred Nzeakor, to look at the legal implication of the multiple court judgment and the consequences of the suspension vis-a-vis the PDP convention. Thank you so much, Fred, for joining us.
Thank you. Good to be with you. Good evening.
All right, you're welcome. So from a legal standpoint, how does the PDP's decision to proceed with the National Convention, despite multiple ongoing court judgments, affect the legitimacy of the entire process?
Well, the multiple court judgments will only bring confusion. But at the end of the day, the appellate court will clear the confusion, especially the Court of Appeal, and possibly, I'm sure that the matter will get up to the Supreme Court. But I guess that what the party has done, what the politicians, the PDP members have done, is to not to obey that order that they considered purchased, an order that they considered that was procured, and then they decided to obey an order that they felt was legitimate. Of course, there was a court order from the Federal High Court in Abuja. There was another court order from a State High Court in Oyo State in Ibadan. Now, people are now giving it different interpretations, depending on where they stand, depending on their own standpoint. Those who are in favor of Wike's camp, they are the ones that are claiming that the Federal High Court order in Abuja should be the one to be respected and obeyed. Those who are not on the side of Wike and who obviously are in the majority are the ones in Ibadan, and they are the ones who believe that the order of the High Court of Oyo State sitting in Ibadan should be the legitimate order that should be obeyed. Each camp and each side has its own argument in support of their position. And it is only the appellate court that will sift through all those arguments and take a decision one way or the other.
But then, how do you see the fact that it's the same situation but different interpretation, according to what you said, by the high courts and the state courts? The law is the law. Why can't there be a unison in terms of decisions being reached by these courts?
Well, the law is the law. There can never be unison, and that is why you have appellate courts. The unfortunate thing is that we continue to have this problem of conflicting judgment and conflicting orders of different courts, especially courts of coordinate jurisdiction. There is no reason why courts of coordinate jurisdiction will be giving conflicting orders and conflicting judgments. But you can see these things essentially and mostly in issues that have to do with politics. And that is why we keep saying that the filthy hands of politicians should not be allowed to taint the good work of judiciary in trying to support our democracy. Because the politicians hardly would like to obey the law. The politicians hardly would like to play by the rules, even the rules they set for themselves. The politicians will always undermine the established interests of the nation, all in their own personal and selfish interest. But we expect that the judiciary, being the bulwark and the one that shows direction in matters of conflict, and then when there is darkness, to not be the one that will be accused of giving orders or judgments that can be said to be procured. It's an insult on the judiciary if a judge allows his judgment to be or order to be procured. And from the standpoint of all the people, some are accusing the Abuja Federal High Court of giving judgment and order that runs against the judgment of the Supreme Court, which Supreme Court had earlier affirmed that internal dynamics and the internal decisions of political party should be left with the political parties to decide and should not be manipulated or directed by the courts. then the people that are in favor of that Abuja Federal High Court are claiming that the other side breached the rules of their party by not allowing a major politician from buying forms. Now, the people in Ibadan are saying that the former Lamido, the former governor of Jigawa State, was the one that did not do what he was supposed to do. That he did not submit his form early enough, and he did not do what he was supposed to do by buying the form and submitting it within the time frame.
Okay.
And then he was now out of time. So you now see that each side has their own conviction and they are digging their own grounds. At the end of the day, all the issues will be brought to the Court of Appeal for adjudication.
Okay, so do you think there is any legitimacy to this PDP convention that is ongoing in Ibadan now, pending the court cases? Some people feel it's just a charade.
Well, anybody who feels it's a charade is feeling so on his own. The people who are in Ibadan are not thinking that way. They feel they are doing what is right, and because they are in absolute majority. Even if you look at it, the old saying that the majority will have their way and that the minority will have their say. Who are the people who are not in Ibadan? They are essentially the people who have been the cancer and on the life of PDP since 2023. So, and nobody can claim not to know what has been going on in our political space. We are the group that is led by Minister Nyesom Wike, supported by former Governor Fayose, the Secretary, Senator Anyanwu, and the rest of them who are now being suspended by the people in Ibadan. That same group has been the one that have been trying to derail the PDP and make it a mincemeat and reduce it to nothing in terms of credible opposition. Now, the APC, the party, and the center have been accused of all these manipulations. And that is why anybody can now, you can't just come out and say that the people in Ibadan that what they are doing is a charade. It is left for the superior court to determine whether they have done wrong or whether they have done right. As far as they are concerned, what they are doing is right. And look at the antics of the people in Abuja. They went and procured their public announcement and started announcing that the convention has been suspended. And that tells you the mischief of a man or a group that don't mean well for the political party. I don't think, as a person, that it is time that PDP should stand its ground and try to lead Nigeria as a major opposition party in the country. Whether what they are doing in Ibadan is right or wrong is not for anybody to say, because we don't have all the information at our disposal. Some of the things that they are saying that has led the Abuja Federal High Court to give its order are things that will be arguable and argued out at the Court of Appeal. So at the end of the day, when the Court of Appeal decides and ultimately the Supreme Court decides, it's only then that we will know whether what they have done in Ibadan is a charade or not.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Fred Nzeakor, for sharing your legal angles with us on the news at this time.
Many thanks.